Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube. And today is Thursday, February 10th. And it is kind of early here. It's 10:23 a.m. My job starts at 11 today. I am working today. So I gotta get this video done before the job starts, right? This one's not gonna be a very long video. I did no stitching yesterday. By the time I did all of the auctions, which took me an inordinate amount of time, and so I told Bill last night that I had listed the fabric, and he got upset because he's like, I don't want you to sell all your fabric. I said, I'm not selling all of it. I said, plus what I decided to do was I went through especially the Fiberlicious hand-dyed fabric, and I really went through and looked at the colors and wrote down the colors I really, really, really loved. And I'm going to reorder those. And it's about 9 colors. So when I get the money from the auctions, I'll reorder those in 18 count. And I already belong to their fabric of the month. So I'll be getting a piece every month from them too. So, and I have Be Stitch Me fabric on the way. I have an order from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have another Seraphim. I'm going to have plenty of fabric. I'm like, don't worry. Just chill. But listing all of those auctions, which I will leave linked in the description box of every video up until they end. They end next Wednesday. So they end on the 16th. I did it for 7 days. So if you're interested, go look, go bid. Obviously, I'm not trying to gouge people or make money on it. I'm just looking to get money back that I put into it, which I'm probably not going to do that though. I don't know though. We'll see. We'll see, because it's about, I would say all the fabric I have listed up there, it's probably about $2,000 worth of fabric. Yep. And I mean, that's amassed over the course of a year, but wow, when I think about that, I'm like, and I was just looking at it every day and I'm like, it's just sitting there not being used. And I'm like, I got to do something with it. So, but yeah, no stitching. I hope to do some stitching today. I'm hoping our job today is not like all the live long day. And so far we have nothing for tomorrow. So if I don't have a job tomorrow, I definitely will do some stitching then. But I got the most recent issue of Just Cross Stitch in the mail yesterday. So I took a peek through it, and I only found one design that I really think I will stitch. Because like I said, I'm obsessed with the small ones now. And this is called Easter Egg Trio, and it's by KEB Studio Creations. Don't you love these? Now, what's nice is that these are just, this is like a purple color and a white, a pink color and a white, a green color and a white. So you can, and I don't really care for this one. I like these two. I really like this one. So you can tailor these to whatever colors you want. And I realize that Easter is pastel, so that's why they did pastel colors. But I feel like the pattern disappears in these. Like this one you can kind of see because the green's darker. But I feel like the pattern just disappears in these two because the color is so light. I would be doing a darker color for sure because you would want that white to pop, right? Yeah, so, because these are only 66 by 46 stitches each. So they work out to, on 18 count, 3 5/8 by 2.5, which is perfect for the junk journal. So I really think, and I get the digital issue of this also, so I'll be able to download that and put it into my markup pattern. But yeah, so this is the April 2022 issue of Just Cross Stitch. Okay, so talking point for today is something, actually I'm going to do 2 of them, I think, because they're both kind of short. And I'm going to show you, you guys remember this pin cushion? My grandmother used to have one because my grandmother also not only did crochet, but she sewed. Remember that? The tomato with the little strawberry? So this is the origin of it, which I was very curious. It says, so the tomato pin cushion is a tomato with the strawberry attached. It was most likely introduced during the Victorian era. According to folklore, placing a tomato on the mantle of a new house guaranteed prosperity and repelled evil spirits. Really? I've never heard that, but okay. If tomatoes were out of season, Families improvised by using a round ball of red fabric filled with sand or sawdust. The good luck symbol also served a practical purpose. It was a place to store pins. Typically, the tomato is filled with wool roving to prevent rust, and the strawberry is filled with an abrasive to clean and sharpen the pins. So I just found it very interesting that a tomato on the mantle is considered good luck in a new home. So, right? I love that. And then, okay, this one really got me. And I was talking to Bill about it. So I belong to a lot of groups also for reading, for books, for different types of books. And this guy, he posted in this group, okay? This is the post. Now, I've never seen a post like this. And if you guys, the group is called the Book Hangout Spot. So the post says, anyone read Love in the Time of Cholera? I guess that's how you pronounce that, right? Love in the Time of Cholera. Every time I see the title of that book, I think of that movie Serendipity with Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack, where they meet just by random in a Macy's. They're both trying to buy the same pair of gloves. And they kind of have like a date night, even though he's with somebody, she's with somebody. And at the end of the night, he had bought this book, Love in the Time of Cholera. He had bought that book for somebody. She put her name and number in it, and she's like, I'm going to sell this to a bookseller tomorrow. If you can find it, then you call me. And he spends like 10 years or something cuckoo trying to find this book. It was such a good movie. It is such a feel-good movie. It's so good. And so in turn, he wrote his name and number on a $5 bill. And yeah, it's so good. I love the movie. The movie was out when I was with my first husband. So you know how long ago that was. It was like 1998. But yeah, every time I see Love in the Time of Cholera, I think of that movie. So anyway, his post says, anyone read Love in the Time of Cholera? Now here's where this got me. I'm doing a 19-year prison sentence. I'm 12 in, meaning he has served 12 years of 19 years. And I've tried to read all the classics from Hemingway to Fitzgerald to Hugo. I actually read Don Quixote and it had me rolling. I need some suggestions. Already knocked out War and Peace, holy motherfucker, like that is a huge book. Anna Karenina, The Brothers Karamazov. Hope everyone is safe and well. Books will get you through some dark times. And I don't know how many. There's probably a billion comments. Let me go to Facebook and see if I can find it really quick. Because I saved the post, so I can just go to my saved. There are 1,500 comments on it. And I figured that it would. And people gave him suggestions, of course, for books. And someone said, you know, you're making great use of your time. Reading is a wonderful escape. It educates us, transforms us, and soothes us. I'm totally impressed with your reading choices. And, you know, right away, I thought to myself, do prisoners have access to social media? Because how did he post this? But then I was really thinking, I thought about this post for a while. And then I thought, well, maybe a family member posted it for him, right? But I thought, how awesome. Now, we don't know what he did, which is none of our business, of course, that he has served 12 years already of a 19-year sentence, and he's using the time to read. Absolutely love that. I am a firm believer in that not all people that are in prison belong in prison. There are innocent people that are convicted. And I'm also a believer that I think you can be rehabilitated. I think people have the greatest capacity for change. And I think serving that kind of sentence, and then this guy looks still fairly young. It's awesome that he reads. And boy, has he picked some hard things to read. Impressive isn't even the word. War and Peace is like, I don't know, is it like 1,000 pages? It's something cuckoo like that. The largest book I ever read, which is probably my favorite book of all time, is The Crimson Petal and the White by Michael Faber. It's over 800 pages. And if you get like the paperback book of it, the pages were thin like pages in a Bible. Good book though. It's about a prostitute in the Victorian times. And the Acorn, the TV Acorn app or whatever, they did like a 4-part series where it was turned into, it was good. It was really good. But that post really caught my eye, and I'm like, oh, I have to talk about that. Just absolutely loved it though. Okay, so we are going to, I don't have any purchases. Like I said, as soon as, and I didn't get to look at Facebook today. I have one more talking point to mention for tomorrow. So if I get a break today from work, I'm going to try to look on Facebook and bookmark some more talking points, because I just love having different stuff about stitching to talk about. But we are going to do another motivational story today. I love the enjoy your coffee one, right? Okay, so this one's called The House with the Golden Windows, and I just glanced at it. I don't know what the moral is yet. So the little girl lived in a small, very simple, poor house on a hill, and she would play in the small garden. As she grew up, she was able to see over the garden fence and across the valley to a wonderful house high on the hill. And this house had golden windows, so golden and shining that the little girl would dream of how magic it would be to grow up and live in a house with golden windows instead of an ordinary house like hers. And although she loved her parents and her family, she yearned to live in such a golden house and dreamed all day about how wonderful and exciting it must feel to live there. When she got to an age where she gained enough skill and responsibility to go outside her garden fence, she asked her mother if she could go for a bike ride outside the gate and down the lane. After pleading, her mother finally allowed her to go, insisting that she kept close to the house and didn't wander too far. The day was beautiful, and the little girl knew exactly where she was going to go, right? We know where she's going. Down the lane and across the valley, she rode her bike until she got to the gate of the golden house across the other hill. As she parked her bike and leaned it against the gate, she focused her eyes on the path that led to the house and then on the house itself, and was so disappointed as she realized that all the windows were plain and rather dirty, reflecting nothing other than the sad neglect of the house that stood derelict. She was so sad that she didn't go any further, and she turned around heartbroken. As she got back on her bike and she glanced up, she saw a sight that amazed her. There across the way, on her side of the valley, was a little house, and its windows sparkled golden as the sun shone on her little home. She then realized that she had been living in her golden house, and all the love and care she found there was what made her home the golden house. Everything she dreamed of was right there in front of her nose. It's almost like the grass is always greener, right? So the way the sun was hitting the other house when she's at her house, and it looked golden and beautiful. But then when she sees her house from a different perspective, right? And that's the thing. If we really can look at our lives from a different perspective, I think we can appreciate how wonderfully blessed most of us are, truly. That's almost like one of my favorite stories in here was the one where the woman said that the neighbors moved in and they did their laundry crap, like it always looked like crap. Well, her windows were dirty, not the neighbor's laundry. Yeah. Okay. So, I almost forgot. How are we going to continue to unfuck ourselves? Okay, here's a good one. Here is a good one that I'm probably going to put this in a journal somewhere. It says, just because you're right doesn't mean you have to be right about it. And how I interpret that is correcting people. One of Bill's biggest pet peeves is when you correct him if he's wrong. And in the beginning of our relationship, I did it a lot because he gets all kinds of stuff wrong. And I think it annoys him at work too. And I really try, if it's something major, right? Like if you're going to go look for something and you have the wrong title of something, if it's something small, I don't correct people anymore because actually it's fairly rude. And yeah, just because you're right doesn't mean you have to be right about it. And I'm thinking that's what that means. Let me know if you have a different interpretation. But yeah, there are many people that we know that will correct people. There's a guy that my husband works with that he's like, oh my God, if you said the sky is blue, he would say, no, it's like a light blue, like that kind of crap. Like that would drive me bonkers. So my husband really likes, because this guy will look stuff up on the internet, like if he thinks he's right. And when he isn't right, the attitude is totally different. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys all have a great Thursday. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.